Hey, what is up? What is up? So today I want to oh, it might be a little loud. I want to speak for a moment. I want to speak for a moment on a few reasons why I believe. You know what? Let me put my. I'll just. If you can hear me, okay, can you type a one in the comments? If you can hear me, okay, type a one in the comments. I might need to put this on. One second. Okay. If you can hear me, okay, just type a one in the comments. I just want to make sure that you guys can hear me because last time I did this, I switched over to the my earpods and it totally went out. So I'm just going to talk for a little bit then. Um, so now that we're going into this holiday season, a lot of people want to run campaigns. A lot of people want to run campaigns to be able to promote their business. Everybody has an ideal offering that they want to give people, or they want to provide to their target audience, and they want to make sure that it's a fair trade, right? It's a good exchange, right? Um, and one of the challenges that a lot of entrepreneurs have is the fear of raising their prices. Um, they have no problem. Well, many people still do have a problem with increasing value, but again, it's because they're stifling their ability to gather more resources in order to provide more value, right? So it's like this chicken and an egg, like this chicken egg thing. They can't afford to do more because they don't want to raise their prices. They don't want to raise their prices because they're scared of not making money. Um, and it's tough for them, So I wanted to first and foremost, again, if you can hear me, put a one in the comments. I want to make sure you guys can hear me because if you can't hear me, then I'm just gonna have to cut it off. If you cannot hear me, I'm just gonna have to cut it off. So drop a one in the comments. If I don't see a one in the next like minute or so, I'm gonna have to cut it off because I think you might not be able to hear me. Oh, okay, cool, 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 cool. So so if it does get kind of loud, just let me know, and I'll What does two mean, Nikisha? What does two mean? So I'm here at Conduit here in Orlando, Florida. I'm waiting. We're having a pitch competition with a number of startups for Black Orlando Tech. Very exciting. Um, and part of the judging criteria is to part of the judging criteria is to identify their market validation, their product, their team, their overall business model, and other stuff. And it made me think about a lot of the people that I currently coach and people who have asked me to coach them, and some of the challenges that they've had. And one of the things that I've noticed that a lot of people have is their desire to raise their prices. So um, one of the cool points of discussion that was held the other day was my buddy Ryan. He was like, yeah, what he looks at is people's their purchasing power. He looks at their purchasing power, And the reason why I wanted to bring that up leading into this conversation is because I think that entrepreneurs tend to focus on the wrong target sometimes when it comes to their pursuit to build and grow their companies. The big thing that we should all the big thing that we should all be focused on is one, our ability to get someone to see our offerings as a great uneven exchange. And I'll describe what that is, an uneven exchange, an uneven exchange. Okay. And the second thing is our focus on not on someone's current amount of money that they have in their bank account or what they can afford. We need to focus on their purchasing power. So, what do I mean by this uneven exchange? And I describe this in some of my other videos as well. An uneven exchange is so think about this fundamentally, okay? Fundamentally, someone has cash, right? Or someone has money, right? They have money, and this is money, right? You can't eat it. You cannot eat money, right? Again, I'm just playing this, right? You cannot eat money. Money can't make you comfortable. You can't sleep on it. You can't drive it. You can't drink it. You can't do anything with money. You have something else that you can eat or you can consume or it can help your life. And then you say, is this money worth more than this thing that I want to consume? And your mind says, I want to consume this thing, and me separating with this money is worth it. So you exchange it, right? So you exchange it. Again, the key isn't about what the money, who cares about the money? And I'm going to talk about purchasing power in a minute. Who cares about this? It's not about the money, it's about what the money can afford people. If someone values your offering more than the money that they're separating with, a sale happens. A sale happens. Okay. So that means someone made an exchange that they felt was worthy of them. Mind you, again, this is one of the primary reasons why people who are and again, I'm gonna put myself in that same bucket. Okay, I'm not taking myself out of buckets, right? But people who are lower income earners, they tend to have a harder time with sales because the likelihood of them separating with money is like it's harder for them to let go of the money because in their minds when they look to buy, they think that it's not, they don't want to, they want to hold it really hard, right? Meanwhile, someone else that has a little bit more money, they tend to be a little bit more liberal with it. So they see other people as being liberal as well, right? Like why don't you want to pay $1,000 for this bag, right? You don't have $1,000 like that. That's how they think about it. You don't have 20,000 to do. So when it comes to your prices, you're creating an uneven exchange, right? During this season, you will always be able to do more if you have more resources. If everyone that sees your brand, if they look at your brand and say this person invests in their clients and their customers, this person invests in their clients and their customers, then you should have far more conviction about increasing your prices. Actually, let's phrase it a different way. Let's phrase it a different way. You should be increasing the required investment that people are making into your offerings. Don't even use the word price. Use the word investment because when you think of the word investment considers their return. Okay? The word investment considers their return. Every bill that you pay, every bill that you pay, it is a worthy investment for you. If you don't like paying your electricity bill, but you love when the lights are on, right? You don't like paying for your water, but you love that hot shower. You don't like paying for gas, but you know you got to get to point B, right? You don't want to pay for that car note, but you love the ability to get from point A to point B, right? Like that's a subconscious exchange that we're making in our minds day in, day out. And as an entrepreneur, it's very important for you to be able to characterize those exchanges as well. That's what you sell on. Don't worry about what people are can afford. Do not worry about what people can afford. Everyone can afford your services. Everyone. Everyone can afford your services. Everyone can afford your products. Everyone. Every single person out there, every human being can afford your your products and your services. All you need to do is identify how your exchange is perceived to them. Identify how your exchange is perceived to them. Ask them how important it is to be able to solve a particular problem. Ask them how important it is for them to be able to have a certain convenience. Quantify it in some way or another. And you sell not on that, but you sell on that exchange. Case in point, case in point. Um, and I always bring up, I love working with creatives. I'm focused on creatives. I love working on with creatives and people in tech. Um, Me selling websites, right? I'm not going to go out there and ask people, hey, you want a website? You want a website? You need a website? Do you need a website? Do you need a website? Do you need a website? No, no, no. You don't sell people on websites like that. First of all, you hit up people that you might not even think need a website initially, right? Like you might look at this stuff and think it's good. You hit them up and you say, hey, websites websites that good websites in your industry are generating about 10 grand, 20 grand a month. Um, would love to show you how, right? Now think about this, right? What someone is using the website for, that level of excitement is the reason they want to talk to you now. It's not about their cousin Johnny saying that you need a website. Now it's okay, this person said that people in my industry should be generating a certain amount of revenue from a website. I want to know how. How are they doing it? A website isn't just a website. It's about you making the website, right? So now that's a sticking point. That's a sticking point. They want to talk to you now. If you're selling event services, or if, let's say you're selling consulting, right? Don't just go out there and say, "Oh yeah, I consult people on marketing. I consult people on marketing." No, no, no. You don't say that. Say say something along the lines of, I help I help I help companies at least 5x their marketing investment by optimizing how they're making sales, right? Like that's very, very different, right? Like if you're 5xing your investment, that's a very good exchange, right? Yes, I want to get consulted on that. I want to understand how that works, right? If you are I mean, whoever's on here, give me an example of something that you sell, and I'll give you an example of how the majority of people in that industry typically sell, and I'll tell you how I think you should be selling it. Let me see if I can get tripped up on one of these. What do you sell? What do you sell? And I'll take a guess. I'll take a wild guess at how people are selling it or how people are promoting it. Wild guess. The I look at also too how people characterize characterize what they sell. You know, um, some people like to put themselves in the big bucket. Some people like to put themselves in the big bucket versus creating a bucket for themselves. So this is what I mean, right? Um, go like this is an iPhone, right? Go on go on the Apple website. Go on the Apple website and look at how Apple characterizes this device. Okay? Apple took Apple deleted all of its competitors. Think about this. Apple deleted all of its competitors. You want to know how? Apple said, these aren't cell phones. These are not cell phones. These are iPhones. Okay? Apple was able to delete all of their competitors by literally saying, this is not a cell phone. This is an iPhone. when they compare this device, they compare it to other iPhones. They totally took themselves out of the cell phone business. These are iPhones. Now I say that because you know how they say like the riches are in the niches, right? The riches are in the niches. The reason why you're able to raise your prices by niching is because you're not in that same bucket any longer that you were in prior. You're not in a bucket that everybody else is in. You've created your own little bucket that's unique to you. Here's an example, case in point. Like with me, my marketing narrative, I created this framework called the ART method, ART. ART stands for the A stands for attention. The first thing that you have to do, you have to get people's attention. The second thing that you got to do, you have to become relevant to them. And then the third thing that you have to do is you have to gain their trust. Attention, relevance, and trust. That's my ART framework, right? That's how I market. That's my philosophy around marketing. The thing about that is when people ask me, well, when they asked me, hey, you're a marketer, I was able to separate myself by saying, well, I execute marketing campaigns using the ART method. Now it's what's the ART method, right? As long as someone is sold on the ART method, there's no one else doing the ART method. I'm doing the ART method, right? So now I'm not just a marketer. I'm a marketer that exercises and leverages the ART method. So with you, and mind you, I'm able to increase my investment because my methodology, I've proven my methodology. So with you, if you want to increase your prices, increase your investment, or increase the investment that people are contributing in order to get your offering, I would create your own bucket. Don't just be a photographer. Be a photographer that executes, the capture of this media a certain way. You're not just an event planner. You have a certain philosophy around event planning that's proven to get people the very thing that they're coming to event planners for. You don't just sell products. You don't just sell wipes. You sell special wipes for technology, right? Like make your own bucket. Make your own bucket. Brian, I just showed up. What we selling? I'm not even, I'm not even selling anything right now, man. I'm trying to get people to be confident enough to increase what their required investment is for their offerings and their services. So everybody on here, right now, some people have some friction with regards to how much they want someone to separate with in order to acquire their offerings. And so I want to encourage people to have more conviction around getting people to separate with more so that they can do more, so we are always selling. Well, yeah, I mean, you know what? If somebody stops on my profile, they're gonna see obviously that I'm within the sales and marketing realm. I work with business owners on helping them increase their sales efficacy, increase their reach and their revenue. And if you do need help, or if you know someone that needs help with just gaining an understanding for what steps to do next, or where to go, what to create in order to increase their ability to sell more, would love to have a conversation with you. Um, I have something called a reach and revenue session. If we have, you will make Everybody makes an investment to have a reach and revenue session. If you don't feel it's if you do not feel that it was a worthy investment, I click two buttons and you get your money back, right? You still invested time. You still invested time. We both invested time. Um, but to this date, I've been in this business for over 8 years. I haven't had anybody. No one asked for like a reach and revenue session refund. Like no one asked for that. Primarily because we get through a lot during these reach and revenue sessions. So if you have an interest in having one of those sessions, and by reach and revenue, I differentiate reach from following. So a lot of people they want a stronger following. Like, what's my following on Instagram? You can't pay your bills with following. It's not about your following, it's about your reach. How many people are you able to reach and touch and nudge and get them to look back and say, what is that? And then look at you and look at your business and look at you and say, man, they have something I need. And then they pursue it. What does that do? It ultimately increases your revenue. So if 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 you feel stuck, especially going into this season, hit me up. Let me know. Shoot me a message. Definitely would love to have a conversation with you. If you want to check out some of my freebies, I got some freebies. I'll send you over some of the stuff I've written, some of the videos I've recorded, some of the free programs that I've created. Because my big thing here is like right now, if you stopped here, if you stopped on my video, that means that I got your attention. If I'm having a discussion here about raising your prices, if that's something relevant to you, um, and if you trust that I know what I'm talking about, then again, just in this exchange, I've executed part of my art method, which is to organically get out there and have you ultimately say, hey, you know what? I want to talk to this guy. I want to know what the hell he does and how he helps other clients with increasing their reach and their revenue. So if you have an interest in doing the same strategically, because some people don't like getting on live. Many people don't like doing this. How many people don't like, they do not like picking up their phone and, going live and stuff like that. People don't like that. No, not everybody's into that. Not everybody's into that, but that's just my thing. But there are ways to get people's attention, become relevant, gain their trust in a comfortable way, in a way that's going to help you grow your business. Um, so now I see Brian. Brian is on here. Well, I don't know if he's still on. He may have jumped off. I don't know. But Brian's in real estate, right? So um, real estate agents and real estate brokers, people in real estate, no one cares, or they don't fully care about how much money people have. They care about their purchasing power, right? And again, that goes right back to many of us who are selling products or services. We need to be focused on people's purchasing power. Think about this. Someone's going to find your offering as being an uneven exchange in their favor, okay? An uneven exchange in their favor. They have the purchasing power to acquire your very thing within that uneven exchange. If that provides them with some convenience, or if it creates an opportunity for them to generate more of the very resource that they had to separate with, then they would have been using their purchasing power to acquire your offering, reaping the benefits now and making the investment over time. You don't have to worry about that. You don't, right? You're generating revenue. If you're a business consultant, or if you're in marketing, or if you're in advertising or anything like that, encourage your clients to use credit cards. Encourage your clients to use credit cards. Tell your clients, do not use a debit card. Business owners should not be using debit cards. And again, like I'm guilty of it. I'm guilty of it. But business owners should not be using debit cards. Savvy business owners should be leveraging resources outside of the very things that they're capped to be able to increase their leverage in other ways. If you're a business consultant, encourage your clients not to use debit cards. Hey, like I got $1,000 in my bank account. Awesome. I don't care what's in your bank account. I don't want you to use a debit card. Apply for some credit card. If your credit's messed up, think about this. If someone's credit is fully jacked up, there may be steps that they need to take in order to increase their leverage and their ability to create things. But again, it puts you into the consultancy. It puts you into the consultancy. Like imagine how someone will feel if they need to do that. They need to make that investment, and let's say their credit isn't as good as it needs to be. Again, like even if someone was to, if someone was to come to me and say, hey Mike, like I need all this marketing and all this stuff. I need all this stuff, but I don't have the credit to invest in anything, and I don't have this and I don't have that. If you don't have the credit to invest in me, you most likely don't have the credit to be able to buy more inventory. You also may not have the leverage to be able to buy the tools you need to increase your revenue. Your job, if you're selling businesses, your job is not to create more hamster wheels. Your job is to really genuinely help them get to the next level. If they need to speak to a credit expert, then they have them speak to a credit expert. I've had an amazing expert. His name is Chris Coburn. I could even tag him in the comments. Amazing guy, very informative. I mean, when I tell you, he's absolutely amazing, absolutely amazing. If any of you have run into a situation where you had something maybe from student loans, or something may have gone to collections or something like that, there are certain laws that were put in place, and there are certain leverage that people have created in order for their world to go around. Okay, some people say, well, their belief is, oh, you know what, like credit, you have to figure out how to pay it all. You got to pay credit off. That's how you increase your credit score. False. Absolutely false. You do not, you do not, that is not how this world was created. Imagine this, right? The best, currently the best asset that people have been thinking that they can acquire is a house, right? No one buys a house cash. So there were industries set up around the housing market to be able to get you to spend and get that house now and pay for it over time, right? Back in the day, the average age that people were buying houses was 29 and a half. Right now, within the law, you have to be 59 and a half to be able to leverage some of the retirement benefits for federally tax deferred accounts and stuff like that. 29 and a half, 59 and a half, that's 30 years. Is it ironic that the average mortgage is 30, is a 30-year mortgage? Is that irony? Come on, right? There's systems in place here because they're balancing people's desires and when they want it with other things. And I say that because there's gaps, like there's gaps to be filled in our decision making. So people are making all of this money off of interest. And again, it's one of the reasons, like I tell people this all the time, right? I I hold on, Andrea, just got my first biz credit card off the debit train, and no more moonlighting with my personal cards. There's so much insurance built into, yes, yes, yes. Thank you. So much insurance built into credit cards. So much insurance, so encourage, and also too, again, encourage your clients to do things the legit way. Encourage your clients to do things the legit way. I can't tell you how many people want to run their business like off, like they don't want to pay taxes. They don't, like an example right now. I'm paying back taxes. I'm paying back taxes from previous years, and I'm adjusting certain things off my taxes primarily because, like, when you go to apply for things, they're not looking at how much you say you make. Oh, I make 100 grand. Oh, I make 100. No, they ain't looking at that. They're looking at, hold on, how much did you pay in taxes? Because that's what shows your true income as a person. You want to go apply for that house, but you didn't pay taxes. You want to apply for that house, but you don't. You want to get that mortgage, but you pay zero in taxes. Look here. So I say all that to say this. I say all that to say this again. Going back to your increase in price, solve certain objections before you get it. Through how you operate, solve certain objections before you get it. People can afford your services. Anyone that says they can't afford it, it's not that they can't afford it. It's that they haven't found your exchange worthy of investing in. No, they're not going to use their purchasing power to acquire your offerings. They don't see it worth it yet. You have to you could you could half your prices and they still won't find it worth it. If you charge $500 for something, I dare you go charge 250. You won't get any more sales than what you get now. You won't get any more sales than what you get now. If you charge 500, increase your prices to 1,000, and people will ask you why it's 1,000. If you want to provide incentives, increase your price to 1,000 and give a $250 incentive. You'll still make $250 more than what you're making now. Give people incentives, sell them on what their return is on the other side of that exchange. Do not try to sell. in the exchange. Do not try to sell in the exchange. If you have any trouble or if you have any questions, hit me up. I gotta go start getting ready for this event, but definitely always a good time coming on here and talking to you guys. So hit me up. All right, take care.